What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. So it is that time. We are officially 1 week away from opening day, which means it's prediction time. Disclaimer, this is my opinion. This is what I think will happen, could happen, might happen, and it might not happen at all. But again, hope you guys do enjoy this video. It's one of my favorite videos to make. I try my best to forecast everything as unbiased as possible. So MLB season is upcoming. We're gonna play a full 162. I'm excited for opening day, and without further ado, let's get into this. We will start off in the National League West, my division, and we'll start from the 5 to the 1 seed in each division. So here we go. Coming in 5th place in the National League West is the Colorado Rockies. Colorado didn't do much besides add Chris Bryant. Their pitching is still atrocious, and until Colorado gets a decent pitching staff, they will not be contenders anytime soon. 4th place in the NL West will be the Arizona Diamondbacks. This team could be sneaky. Like, they're not as bad as people might think. If they put it together, they could be in 3rd place if they put it together. But for now, I'm gonna put them in 4th. I do like what they're doing. If they keep building towards the future, I think Arizona will be fine. 3rd place, I got the San Diego Padres. Now, my guy Tatis on the helm for a few months. We don't know when he's coming back. It could be May, June, July. It could be September. He could be out for the whole year. We don't know what the future is with Tatis. And so this Padre team is going to have to really be underdogs again and try to battle to contend this season, at least for the first half. We got question marks in the rotation, question marks in the lineup. I do like to add of Alfaro, though. He's going to be real solid for the Padres. But the below to Tatis really hurts not having him start the season, and so having him coming in 3rd place. 2nd place, we got the San Francisco Giants. This team could regress. It's pretty obvious they're probably going to regress. 110 wins is pretty insane, or something like that. Pretty insane. I don't think they're getting 110 this year. Again, they could win the division. I could 100% see them win the division again. But for now, I'm going to have them 2nd place. I do think they're a playoff team. They got Josh Peterson, they got Rodon, a couple other pieces in the bullpen and rotation. So I do like their lineup team from top to bottom, and the Giants 2nd place, which leads number 1 to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm a little bit concerned of what I've seen so far in spring training. Granted, it's spring training, and opening day they'll turn it on hopefully, and we'll get back to Dodger baseball. But I'm a bit concerned, especially with the rotation. I mean, we only have 3 reliable starters so far, and are they going to be burnt out by October and all that good stuff? They should win the division. Trevor Bauer should be back, hopefully very soon. And if Trevor Bauer is back, watch out. So the Dodgers right now are going to be in 1st place in my book. And again, I do have a little bit of questions for them, but they should no doubt make the playoffs. On to the National League Central, we got the 5th place Chicago Cubs. Now, I predict this team to make the playoffs in the 60-game season a couple years back, and they did. Nobody saw that coming, and now I have them in 5th place this year. I don't like this team. Really just kind of washed players. I do like Nick Madrigal, though. He's going to be a stud. That's what the Cubs got to look forward to this year, but it's going to be a last place finish, I believe. 4th place, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates. I like what the Pirates are doing. If they keep doing what they're doing, I know they want to trade Brian Reynolds, and he probably will be traded by the deadline. But if they keep building towards the future, I know they traded out Shane Baz, Meadows, Glass now, but they're building back up with a decent farm system. I like Brian Hayes. I like O'Neal Cruz. The Pirates is about building towards the future. 3rd place, I got the Cincinnati Reds. Now, the Reds sold a lot during this offseason, and quite frankly, they didn't need to, but they did. And even when they did, they still have a decent team. Now, even when they had Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez, they were not playoff teams. So maybe, shipping them out wasn't the worst thing. And honestly, their lineup is still pretty good. Their rotation can be good. And if they can put it together, I can see them sneaking into the playoffs this year for sure. But as of right now, I have them as a 3rd place, middle of the pack team. Coming in 2nd place, I have the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the Brewers seem to always find a way to win. 4-year playoff streak, I believe, 4 or 5 years, which is the longest in franchise history, I'm sure. And, I mean, again, they lost in NLDS last year. They didn't really add much, but they did add cuts, a couple pieces. McCutchen, Hunter Renfroe, pretty decent bats. We know they got a good pitching staff, and so they should make the playoffs. But as of right now, I have them in 2nd place, because I really am a big believer in the St. Louis Cardinals this year coming in 1st. I'm a big believer in this Cardinals team. They could do some damage if they find a way to get more pitching. I still think this pitching is good enough to hold up. led by Jack Flaherty, if he's healthy, to make first place. But they need pitching. We know what the lineup can do. Solid lineup. They got Pujols back. Molina's going out. I think Wainwright might be going out. So it's going to be a nice season for the Cardinals. We'll see what they could do, but I have them in first place. And to the National League East, coming in 5th place, I have the Washington Nationals. Now, Washington, after their World Series run in 2019, have fallen on hard times. They've kind of sold, but they do have this guy named Juan Soto on their team still. And unfortunately for Juan Soto and Nationals fans, they're going to be in for a last place finish. I don't see this team competing this year, and so we'll see what the future holds in DC. Coming in 4th place, I have the Miami Marlins. Now, the Marlins have a decent team. They could be a sneaky team as well, like they were in 2020, come out of nowhere and make the playoffs. They easily can, but as of right now, I have them as a pretty good team, but not good enough to make the playoffs. So 4th place in my book, but they're up and coming for sure. 3rd place, I got the New York Mets. Now, a lot of people are picking the Mets to win the division, make the playoffs. We don't know what DeGrom is. We don't know what Scherzer is. At their peak, we know what they are, but can they both stay healthy, especially DeGrom, who is already experiencing tightness in his arm? So we'll see what happens in New York. I don't see them putting it together, though, to make the playoffs, because the Mets are going to Met. 2nd place, I got the Phillies. Now, I've been really high on Philadelphia for the past couple years, and they've kind of disappointed me. Joe Girardi, Bryce Harper, they added Castellanos, added Schwarber. I'm high on Alec Bohm. I got his autograph behind me. So I really hope the Phillies put it together. It's been a very, very long drought in Philadelphia. I remember growing up playing the Dodgers. It was always Dodgers, Phillies, and they haven't made the playoffs in 10 years. So it's time for the Phillies to make the playoffs. It's time for Bryce Harper to get in the playoffs again with the Phillies. MVP last year. The pitching could put it together. I think this team will 100% be a playoff team. And in 1st place in the division is the Atlanta Braves. I don't see anyone dethroning them anytime soon. Granted, teams did get better in the division, but so did Atlanta, and they're coming back with Ronald Acuna Jr., who they did not have in the second half of the season last year. Braves have definitely reloaded after losing Freddie Freeman to LA, and they got Matt Olson, so they are a scary team for sure, and it seems like the Braves and Dodgers are definitely on a collision course to meet in the playoffs. On to my AL picks. Starting again with the American League West, coming in last place is the Oakland Athletics. I guess the biggest question for this team is how long will they be in Oakland? I know they have explored into Las Vegas for a new ballpark, and this team did not buy anyone. They had a grand total of $0 spent this offseason. So if you go to A's games this year, I feel bad for you. Do not go to A's games and spend when they didn't spend. So they are a dead last. They might be the worst team in baseball, I believe. Coming in 4th place, we got the Texas Rangers. I'm a big Texas Rangers part-time fan, partly because of Corey Seager being a Ranger. I will miss Corey Seager. That was my guy. Great moments with the Dodgers. He helped us bring a championship, and he's going to do great in Texas. Probably bring a championship to Texas in a Rangers uniform. Again, this team will be much more improved from last season and the previous seasons, but they won't be competing this year for playoffs. Next year, they'll keep an eye out on Texas as they improve their pitching staff, as that is the only problem I have with the Rangers as of right now. 3rd place, we got the Seattle Mariners. Now, you can flip-flop the Mariners or the Rangers if you want. People are high on the Mariners. I understand that, but I see them regressing this year. Although I do like J-Rod, I think he will start the season with the Mariners, potentially. If not, we will definitely see him come up. They have a really good lineup, but their pitching is what really puts them down for me. So I have them in 3rd place, not make the playoffs this year. But we never know, they could break the drought, but I don't see it happening. 2nd place, we got the Angels. This is the last time I'm going to put the Angels as making the playoffs. I think I did it last year, maybe 2 years ago. This is it. This is your last chance to make the playoffs, and that I have high hopes for you. If you don't make the playoffs this year, I'm sorry. I just can't do it anymore. You're 4th place. It's either playoffs or 4th place for the Angels. No in between. 4th place or wild card. No in between. We know what Trout and Ohtani can do. Can they stay healthy? I think they added more pitching. That could help. Can they all put it together for a full 162? We shall see. And 1st place, we got the Houston Astros. Now, I was really skeptical of putting the Astros at first. After seeing their whole ball club again, I'm like, yeah, I think they're still the best team in that division. Until somebody dethrones them, I have them at 1st place. We know they lost Carlos Correa. They lost George Springer a couple years back. Huge voids in that lineup clubhouse. But if they could put it together like they have done and find ways to win, which they probably should, I think they'll be fine. Still have a pretty good lineup. People are high on Jeremy Pena in Houston. So if he is half of what Correa is, I think they'll be fine. And so I have the Astros in first place. On to the American League Central, we got the Cleveland Guardians in 5th place. Really good rotation. I like the rotation. Pitching is decent, but the lineup is pretty bad. I don't see them competing this year for the playoffs. 4th place, we got the KC Royals. KC could be sneaky. They could win some ball games here and there. They could move up to 3rd place if they play well enough. But as of right now, I'm in 4th place. But I do like where they're going. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be really good. He might be the Rookie of the Year candidate. We'll see. But I do like what the Royals are doing. Zach Greinke's back. Hopefully has a good year. But as of right now, I have them as a 4th place team. 3rd place, I got the Minnesota Twins. Now, we know what they got Carlos Correa sort of reloaded, but I don't see them putting it together this year. Maybe next year if Correa decides to stick around for $35 million. But I don't think they have enough this year. Lineup is pretty decent. So is the pitching, but the pitching is a little bit lackluster for me. And so I have Minnesota missing the playoffs again this season. And it's like a place, I got the Detroit Tigers. I like what the Tigers have done this offseason. Over the past few seasons, they've been progressing up, and I think finally they'll take that leap this year and maybe make it into the playoffs. I think they could be the sneaky wild card team for sure this season. Spencer Torkelson is going to be pretty good, I believe. Got Cabrera, I like what they added, and we know the pitching staff is pretty young. And put it together, I think they'll be really good this season. Along with the addition of Javier Baez, how can I forget? They got Javier Baez right in the middle of the lineup, so I think the Tigers will be pretty good this year. And in first place, I got the Chicago White Sox. Again, the division, the hardest in baseball, and I think the White Sox are clear and away the favorites in that division. Now, the White Sox got bounced last year in the first round pretty handily by the Astros to me, and so I think they are a little bit better this year. Jimenez and Robert could stay healthy. They're going to be problems for the American League, and I have them finishing first place. We'll see if Michael Kopech can actually be a top prospect that he was once rated. And if he could put it together and be that stud, watch out. Finally, we got the American League East coming in last place. Yet again, it's the Baltimore Orioles. Now, I'm old enough to remember when the Orioles were once good. They were pretty good in the early 20s, hence the mid 2010s. And they just couldn't get over the hump, and they've fallen on hard times. And again, this is the last place finish. They got Cedric Mullins. It's about building for the future for them, just like other ball clubs have. They keep doing that, they'll be fine. Maybe compete or improve a little bit more next year, but I think they're in for another down season. In 4th place, I got the Tampa Bay Rays. People might go at me in the comments for this one, but I think the Rays are due for a down season. They're due for a down season. They got Corey Kluber. What are we going to get out of Corey Kluber? Tyler Glass now, is he coming back this year? You know, we got Randy. They got Wander Franco, who is very, very highly touted. The Rays gave him a big paycheck for 12 years. So again, this team could easily be first, and I won't be surprised, of course, but the American League East is really stacked, and right now I have them in 4th place, but I won't be surprised if they come in first. Coming in 3rd place, I got the Boston Red Sox. Now the Red Sox, again, I don't trust their pitching at all, and I think that kind of showed last year in the playoffs. They did not have enough pitching to overcome the Astros. I mean, they got Trevor Story, pretty solid lineup, pretty scary lineup, but the pitching is where it falls for me, and I have them in 3rd place. 2nd place, I got the New York Yankees. The Yankees, everyone likes to talk about, everyone likes to get down on, and okay, like they could have done better, but for what they had, they did pretty decent. I think the pitching still needs improvement, and if they can add an arm to really back up Garrett Cole in that rotation, they'll be set to make a deep playoff run. But I like the addition of IKF, and I like Josh Donaldson, and he's going to be really good with the Yankees. And so overall, a pretty good team, and I have them in 2nd place. Not 4th place like many people have them. 2nd place, they should make the playoffs. What's coming in 1st place for me is the Toronto Blue Jays. I've been really high on the Blue Jays over the past couple of years. Check out my videos. Matter of fact, last year I predicted the Dodgers and the Blue Jays in the World Series. Didn't happen a year early. Could we get Dodgers Blue Jays this season? We shall see. I could have been genius if that was the case, because no one really saw the Blue Jays coming up this quick, and they added Matt Chapman. They got Kevin Gausman. If he could be his first half Giants, I think he'll be fine. And so pretty good team over in Toronto. The baby Jays are now the strong Jays. All right, and we're back with the playoff picks. We'll start with the National League. In the National League, I got the Dodgers and the Braves as the 1 and 2 seeds, getting the first round bye. So the 1 and 2 seeds in each respective league get first round byes. They don't play in wild card series, which is 3 games this year. I got the 3 seeded NL Central champion Cardinals facing the 6 seed Milwaukee Brewers in 3 games. I got the 4 seed San Francisco Giants and the 5 seed Philadelphia Phillies facing off in 3 games as well. The Cardinals winning that series over the Brewers, and they faced the Atlanta Braves. And I got the San Francisco Giants winning that series over the Phillies, where they faced the Los Angeles Dodgers again for a second time rematch in the NLDS. Cardinals, Braves. Now the Cardinals beat them a few years back in 5 games. This time the Braves do get revenge though, and they move on to the NLCS. Dodgers, Giants. The series goes 5 games, but I have the Dodgers come out on top yet again in 5 games. Sorry, Giants fans, but it's gonna happen again. And so Dodgers, Braves, NLCS. This is what everyone wants to see, and I got the Dodgers moving on to the World Series. If we could get Dustin May, Trevor Bauer in that rotation, who knows what else other moves they're gonna make. If the pitching is holding up and everyone's healthy in the Dodgers, they will beat the Braves if both teams are fully healthy. Mark my words, it will happen. We've seen it happen, but it will happen again if they are fully healthy. So Dodgers move on over the Braves. Freddie Freeman beats his old team because that's how Freddie Freeman rolls, and the Dodgers are going to the World Series. Over in the American League, I got the 1 and 2 Toronto Blue Jays and the Chicago White Sox having the byes. I got the 3 seed AL West champion Houston Astros facing the 6 seed Anaheim Angels. The 4 seed New York Yankees facing off the 5 seed Detroit Tigers. I got the Angels moving on past the Astros in a upset. Mike Trout and Ohtani are just unbelievable, and they beat Houston. Houston falls again at home in the playoffs, and they go on to face the Chicago White Sox. Yankees, Tigers. I got the Yankees moving on to face the Blue Jays in a pretty good series, ALDS, which I have the Yankees moving on past the Blue Jays to ALCS. And I got the White Sox moving past the Angels to go to the ALCS to face the New York Yankees, where I have the Chicago White Sox moving on past the Yankees, which means I got a Dodgers White Sox World Series. I think this could happen. I picked the White Sox to go to World Series just because they have the easiest, I believe, way to get there, route to get there. Angels are inexperienced, though they do win that 3-game series versus Houston. I think the White Sox move past the Angels, and the Yankees will not be an easy out, but I think the White Sox good enough to beat the Yankees, especially if they add the deadline. So I have the Dodgers and the White Sox in the World Series, with the Dodgers coming out on top. And so I got the Dodgers win the World Series this year in 5 games with the White Sox. Now, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series this year, I promise you guys I won't pick the Dodgers to win the World Series next year. So it's this year or bust for the Dodgers, so you better win it this year. At Freddie Freeman, I don't think they lose with Freddie Freeman. I think the guys rally together, especially with Kershaw status up in the air. This might be his last season with the Dodgers, or in Major League Baseball for that matter. So I think they do rally around him, and they get it done in the big World Series back to LA. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing below. I hope you guys do follow along for MLB content throughout the whole year. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.